brought to you by us, by today's speaker. We invite everyone to address our assembly with words of inspiration, lessons learned, or passionate ideas. Everyone's opinion expressed here is strictly that of the person who gives it. Let us consciously and lovingly agree to disagree if it does not resonate with us. The topic for today is God's consciousness. It is my pleasure to present Ernie Betz as our speaker for today. Ernie Betz has 3 adult offspring from 3 marriages and is currently divorced. Ernie has worked as a professional photographer and is a retired computer analyst consultant. He has studied Reiki, quantum touch, acupressure, and various other healing techniques. His metaphysical spiritual studies include astrology, numerology, religions, and meditational practices as a member of the Sufi Order International. Thank you. I give to Ernie Betz.
I made a few notes in December and I had to find them. And that was a task. But just a little bit more about me. I'm an Aries and I'm born April 4th, 1951. Just turned 72. How we doing?
Oh, thank you, Mark.
Hello, Zoom people. And so 4/4, my birthday, and I've got 4s throughout my life. I'm in a movie called The Avengers. You can see me 40 minutes and 40 seconds for 4 seconds from the beginning. I have, I was going to the Victory of Light Expo in Cincinnati for like 7 or 8 times, spring and the fall, with a friend, and we forgot to put our request for a booth that we were staying at. We got moved to a more expensive booth, and we weren't making a lot of money. And at that point in time, we thought, oh my God, we're not going to make it here at all. And we tripled our money. We got about $1,000 a day, and we got to move to booth 404. And just another silly example is I went shopping for DVDs. That's my hobby, to collect movies. And there's like 17 DVDs and a Blu-ray player. And it came to $41.04. And they added the tax, it's $2.96. And said, you want to round up 20 cents? I said, okay, that'll be $44.00. One other thing was, I was tearing the pages off on the calendar. I said, oh, April's over. I'm all done celebrating. I pull it off. There's another April. And then I said, God, you're messing with me now. So the question is, a definition of God, or a definition of our relationship to God. And some people think that is God sleeping or something? Does he know what's going on? He's supposed to be omniscient and omnipresent. And boy, we could sure use some help down here. And I said, maybe they're waiting up there in heaven for a wake-up call. It's like I use Alexa and I say, Alexa, let there be light. And a bunch of light bulbs come on in my room. And I go, this is cool. I can relate to God now. So Alexa must be God. Or no, sorry. That's an old note. So the question is, where is God? Does anybody know? Is he sitting up in a chair in heaven with a trident and thunderbolts and stuff? I don't think so. I think God's everywhere and in everything, which means he would actually be in every cell in the universe, in every cell in our body, every cell in a chair, every cell on a planet. And the question is, where is he not? He's everywhere. So we're all linked physically and spiritually with God. And a good definition of God is love. And love is a connecting force, and we're made out of love. And when we do healing energy, we're sharing love, we're creating love, and that healing happens from within and spiritually as the energy runs through our bodies, we heal ourselves. And the people who end up being called healers are just people fluffing up the energy so that we can heal ourselves innately. I'm a member of the Sufi order. Some people may have seen or heard some poetry by Rumi. He was a Sufi in the 1300s in Persia, which is now Turkey. And you can go down the street, and that street might have been made by the Romans. And the 1300 school is off to the right. You can walk in, look around. You know, there's no gate fee or anything like that we have here in the United States. And his poetry is being quoted on the internet still. And I can't remember exactly what one of my favorite ones was. It's like, in the situation we have right and wrong, there's a field beyond that. I will meet you there. We can lay down and forget about the world and just love. I like that one. I misquoted it, but that's the gist of it. Sufis are a religious order, non-denominational, and they just want to get close to God. They're a mystic group. There's mysticism in every religion, and they're just typically cloistered and outside of normal living. They might be in a cave. In India, people will go a pilgrimage to see a mystic in a cave, and his eyes are glowing, sparkling, and he's sitting on a dirt floor, and you just go sit in front of him and you feel good because his energy is focused on love and God. In America, we go to visit somebody. We want to see how big their house is, how shiny their car is, and they might be wearing sunglasses. We don't even notice. But it's funny that that's a material plane, and it's a little harder to stay focused on the spiritual side when you're running around in your car and somebody just cut you off. And on the mundane side, you want to give them one finger salute. On the spiritual side, they're asking for a blessing. And also, you can think of when an ambulance or sirens going by, bless all the people in the vehicle, the drivers, the medics, the police, and the victims. And they could use a little boost of energy and love. It's called like the hierarchy of the soul. There's source and God, and then there's prophets like Jesus of Nazareth, Muhammad, Buddha, Lao Tzu, Zarathustra, a number of religions. There's 18 of them over there. One time I gave a talk and I explained 16 of them because I couldn't figure out the last two. But religion can be interpreted as relinking, relogos, relinking to God, which brings up a little thought. Is it relinking? We've been there before. That's where we came from. We're still in it. Some people want to be one with God or one with the universe. Too late. You already are. I speak 3 languages: English, sarcasm, and body language. Ernie. Some kids used to come up to me in the 70s and say, "You're Ernie? How does Bert sleep?" Oh my gosh. Now I had to watch Sesame Street. And Rubber Ducky, you're the one. You're the one makes that time fun. Oh, never mind. I wasn't very good at singing before. I don't think I got any better. I'll go. Going back to the origin of the universe and God, it's like there's people who explain it, and his name is on a piece of paper that I have. Neil, stop guessing. Well, he's Walsh is his last name, Neil Douglas Walsh. And he wrote books called Conversation with God. And it's amazing. You can listen to it on the internet without even paying for it. And he basically was sitting thinking about his depression and stuff. And he got a response. And he wanted to write it down because he didn't hear it. It came through his hand. And it was a conversation with God. And there's 4 books, at least. And the first book is 8 hours on audio tape. I suggest don't try to listen to all 8 at one time. It hurts your brain cells. But it's really good stuff. And if you want to know more about it, go get The Conversation with God. Get in the library or on the internet, or you can buy a book. So, the theory of religion. First, observation. Cavemen in a fire up in the sky, watching the planets move around. So, some of these stars are wandering. That's a definition of planet. And I said, well, and this one goes over here and that one goes over there. The Nile floods and it's springtime. So we should pay attention because in Genesis, the stars are made for signs. I don't know how you can interpret a sign other than maybe astrology or at least the directions on which way to go. The Persian mystics at the birth of Jesus saw a sign and went to Bethlehem. And they were thought to be kings, but they were wealthy, intelligent men who could do astrology and said, something big is going on. And that would have been the beginning of the Piscean age, where sacrifice and the fishes and the fisher of men and sensitivity to God, consciousness, and love. It lasts, astronomically speaking, it's 2,250 years or something like that. Yeah, 2000. And then it's called the precession of the equinox, and it goes backwards. It should be the recession, but I didn't name it. So then we're now in the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It takes like a couple hundred years for it to click over because we don't know where the line is in the sky. If you look at the constellations, they don't match up to a circle and stuff. They're all over the place. Well, in the beginning, after observing things, they said, well, these must be gods because when they move around, something happens. And that's called polytheist, many gods, planets, myth stories with Joseph Campbell, who understood them really well. He said basically it was like everything was all at once: astronomy, astrology, religion, and then we got science. And then we said, well, we got to take these things apart. There's lots of scientists who will argue whether this is real or not real. If they can experiment with it in a scientific way, then it's real. And if they can't, then it doesn't exist. Just like doing energy work in an aura. It's hard to say, oh, your aura is blue or pink. You know, some people are gifted that way. But because they can't do a controlled experiment, they call that kind of stuff hooey. The rest of the world calls it prana and chi and ki, and they use it all the time. India, they call it mana. Prana, I mean, in Hawaii, they call it mana. So how can we listen to the message of God? The idea is God's calling us and we just can't hear it. So there's different techniques. There's more than what I have, but I've got 3 written down. If you pet your pet, you stop and you experience unconditional love. That's God consciousness. You can meditate if you can relax your thoughts. And then the third is a Hawaiian mysticism called Ho'oponopono. It's in Hawaii, they have every other letter is a vowel. And it's the one person who made it kind of famous to us was Dr. Iliakale Hugh Lin. And you can look him up on the internet. And he sat at his desk in a mental ward hospital that was horribly run. Everything, people are supposed to be in and out in 3 or 6 months, and they were there for 2 years. Nobody wanted to work there. It was just a disaster. And so he did Ho'oponopono. And all he did, he never talked to anybody. He just did it all on himself. He'd look at somebody's chart and say, oh, this makes me think that this person is wrong. They're insane. And I said, I know they're not. And he erases his issue with that writing. And after 4 years, they closed the place down because everybody was cured. They left. And it's kind of mystical. But you don't do Ho'oponopono to cure somebody else. But if you start cutting off the feedback to, oh, I know you're crazy, therefore you keep on going back and forth and back and forth, you keep building the wrong momentum. You say, I know you're okay, I haven't figured it out why. I can't see it. And there's a song that goes with it. I know why I am sat in the front. I'm going to attempt to sing Ho'oponopono. And Dr. Iliakale Hugh Lin says, basically, you want to present the phrases to your inner child who stands by your heart and defends all the craziness that goes on and hurts your heart. And your heart gets built up with crystals. And this is designed to take away the crystals. And it goes, Ho'oponopono, 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 Ho'oponopono. I'm so sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. I thank you. I'm so sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. I thank you. Ho'oponopono, 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 ho. It's- I've done this at numerous times when people are so excited and they're going, what are you doing? Well, wait a minute. I am not as excited anymore. And it has an effect. It brings out unconditional love. To enhance unconditional love, we enter a phrase of an energy of gratitude. Gratitude will multiply anything we're doing. So it's good to say grace and be thankful in our food, or we're donating money, or when we're in a pickle and we're trying to figure it out. We want to say thank you for this challenge so that we can grow spiritually. Our words are very powerful. I've said this before. This is my 5th time talking at the Church of the Angels since January 13th of 2020. Jesus spoke in Aramaic, we think. And there's a phrase in Aramaic that says, I manifest my words and thinking into the earth plane. And that word is abracadabra. And the magicians, the magi type related people who perform, caught on to that. They said, well, we'll just use that as our trick to trick people, but it's got a more spiritual meaning behind it. The summation on that is watch what you say, because you're always manifesting everything you say. You want to say positively what's going to happen, as opposed to complaining and griping. You're going to get more of that because you just manifested it. People can become enlightened, and it happens when the physical body lines up with the mental body, lines up with the emotional body, and then lines up with the spiritual body. Then you have intuition, and you can walk about without as many cares as you normally. Where's the money going to be for the, well, do I have to go to the hospital? You know, is the economy going to collapse? Is the banks going to fail? And should I buy gold? You know, type of thing. So if we can get balanced, then we can grow spiritually. We can say prayers to God. That's asking God for a request. And then meditating and listening within is where we can listen to God's message. That happens all the time. Occasionally we hear it. We can do more of that. People talk about chakras, your energy channel right down the middle. It's a bioelectric mechanical thing. The planets have it, our bodies have it, animals have it. It's our aura. And if you want to become God conscious, you concentrate on centering yourself within your aura at the present moment. Can't be thinking about the future or the past. That'll take you away from God consciousness. But if you can stay present, you can hear the voice of God. So in some nation, there's resources out there to study, to get our brains, put a handle on things. And there's people who have written books, and there's people with different ideas. God, the story I like is God was sitting at home in another dimension going, kind of bored. I want to know what's going on with myself. Let there be light. Boom. The universe is now created that wasn't there before. And it's free will is the reign. And all we have to do is remember to love each other because we are each other. There is no them. It's all us. Nope, that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you.
Questions?
No. Comments, questions?
Mark?
Ernie, I like what you said about the balance between when we as people try to experience God, trying to experience each person as an individual, right? We all have that spark of
Mhm.
creator within each of us. Well, when we have either positive judgment, negative judgment, we have labels on people, we think we know who they are, stop seeing them as they are.
Mhm.
So when you come to a neutral position where it's like, I'm going to allow them to be whoever they want to be without judgment, just observe,
Mhm.
and you get to experience who they really are without any kind of ulterior motive. And you get to experience God,
Mhm.
and it's really, so thank you, good job.
Thank you.
I'm going to piggyback on that. I heard a phrase one time. I thought it was wonderful. As humans, we judge by appearance. We judge people by appearance. God only sees us from the inside. God, creator, only sees the inside. The outside means nothing.
Mhm.
So if we can look at the inside and don't judge what we see on the outside, the love just can't help but have that unconditional love like the creator does.
Yes, it's there for us to remember. We're not learning anything. We're just trying to remember where we came from. We came from heaven and we can make heaven on earth or hell. Just get married. Okay, I'm in trouble.
Anybody else? All right, well, thank you, Ernie.
Thank you. Okay. Oh yeah, get that.
Wonderful, wonderful talk. You have a beautiful message there, Ernie, of reminding everybody how we can tap in to the elements of God within us, around us, in each of us. Thank you for that. It's a beautiful reminder. Thank you. It's such a beautiful celebratory day. Thank you.